Well, if you have ever searched for chakras online, you have probably seen the same image 1,000 times. 7 glowing spinning wheels and a coiled serpent at the bottom and lotus at the top. That sums up the ideal picture. And if you have ever actually tried to use that image in your own practice, you probably felt nothing. Or maybe you felt felt little tingle for a few days and then it faded, right? So I see this all the time with new students. They come to me with a list of chakras they want to fix, or probably they want to visualize and experience. And they say, I need to open my heart chakra, which is Anahata chakra, or I need to unblock my solar plexus. And I have to tell them the truth that you are not fixing a list, you are ascending a ladder. And you cannot climb the second step if you haven't stood on the first one yet. Well, here is what modern Kundalini Yoga version has done to the chakras. It has turned them into something very fancy and attractive, like a menu. You can pick open heart, or you can pick balanced root chakra. It sounds actionable and amazing, doesn't it? But here is a trap. When you treat the chakras as isolated switches, you spend years chasing symptoms. You treat a blocked throat center and you wonder why your heart still feels heavy. You work on your root chakra, but your life still feels chaotic. So I have watched students spend months trying to fix their Anahata, which is their heart center, without realizing that their Manipura, their center of personal power, dynamism, and inner strength, was completely depleted. And you cannot pour love out of an empty cup, right? So this is the problem with the modern Kundalini approach. It turns a deeply connected classical system into something quite tangible and menu of fixes. And the problem with the menu is you eat one dish and you are still hungry. You're not still satisfied. Well, in the Kundalini tradition I was trained in, which is the Shivananda and Satyananda lineage, we do not treat these chakras as some sort of an isolated switch or as a menu. We treat them like a sequence. The classical text, the Kundalini Tantra, describes them as a psychic centers lying along the spine's central channel, the Shushmana Nadi. They are not mystical wheels of light. They are the stations through which the Kundalini Shakti, which is the latent energy of consciousness, is set to rise. At the base, you have Muladhara, which is your root support. Well, this is not just the root. This is the seat of the coiled potential itself, the dormant energy that has been waiting to be awakened since before you took your first breath. Above that is Swadhisthana, seat of your unconscious mind. This is the storehouse of your sanskaras, or past life impressions, subtle impressions you've been carrying for lives after life, your old patterns, your unexamined or unfulfilled desires. And if you have not cleared what is stored here, the energy cannot move further up. Then comes the Manipura chakra, your solar plexus. We also call it the city of jewels. Well, this is your personal fire, your digestive fire, your metabolic fire, your will fire, your willpower. And when this center is weak, you cannot act, you can only react. Then we go above, we reach the heart center, which is Anahata chakra. It's also described as the unstruck sound. Anahata means which has not been heard, it's unstruck. This is the center of love, compassion, and pure relationship. But notice the order here. You cannot sustain compassion if you have not first developed a sense of personal transformation and agency. You cannot give love if you have not first found your own true power and the true love inside yourself. Well, as you move above the heart, the ascent changes. Now you read the Vishuddhi chakra, which is the throat, the center of purification, the communication. This is the place where you close the gap between what you feel and what you say to the outer world. It is a center of truthful expression. You move above, you reach the Ajna, or we also call it Agya chakra, the command center. This is where the three great nadis, the Ida, Pingla, and Sushumna converge. It is the place where intuition meets action, where the logic of the left brain and the awareness of the right brain finally shake hands and converge. And finally, the Sahasrara, the crown of your head, the thousand-petalled lotus, which is the point of union, the culmination of the entire ascent. Now, here is where the science catches up. Several of these chakra locations correspond directly to major nerve plexuses along your spine. The solar plexus is Manipura, the cardiac plexus is Anahata, the cervical plexus is Vishuddhi. Well, you cannot find a chakra on an MRI scan, of course, but you can measure the activity of the nerve centers they correspond to and the body parts and the organs they are connected to. So modern neuroscience is just now catching up to what the ancient yogis and rishis mapped out thousands of years ago. Well, now let's talk about a very common misconception. The Kundalini awakening is not a single dramatic event that happens once. It is not a lightning strike from the universe from nowhere. It is a gradual, cumulative process and which is quite structured. The classical model describes it as a slow, step-by-step unfolding. It is like, I should say, like a seed growing into a tree. You do not get the tree the moment you plant the seed. It's going to take some time. The energy does not just flash to the top. It moves through the system stage by stage, requiring purification and work at every single level, which is nothing but the every single chakra. This is why the classical texts emphasize patience so heavily. Rushing this process is totally inefficient, rather it can be counterproductive. And this is also why isolated chakra healing or practices is often ineffective and can create issues. It treats the symptom of the lower chakras as an isolated problem, but in the authentic Kundalini tradition, you do not fix a chakra. You clear the blockage so the energy can continue its ascent naturally and you support with your practices. So here is your takeaway. The chakras are not a mystical shopping list like in the contemporary Kundalini wellness retreats or healing retreats, I should say. They are the map of your own personal and spiritual evolution and transformation. And the map does not replace the territory. But walking without a map is exactly the pattern that leads to confusion, that gives Kundalini practice its sensationalized reputation and also controversial, I should say. Knowing that Swadhisthana governs your unconscious changes what you notice when old emotional material surfaces mid-practice. Well, knowing that Agya or the Ajna is the convergence point changes what a moment of, I should say, unusual clarity, which can actually mean a lot. It stops being a mystery, it becomes a milestone. Well, if you feel called to walk this map, to truly understand the sequence of the chakras and how they apply to a complete practice, I have created a resource for you, which is my complete Kundalini Yoga guide. It's a blog and also with a video which you can watch and get some it is the step-by-step blueprint based on the classical text. The link is in the description below. You can open and read it in your free time. And for those who feel the call to move further, to move from theory to structured, properly sequenced practice, my residential Kundalini Kriya yoga teacher training in Goa is where the map becomes the journey. Well, you are not a checklist, you are ascending consciousness. Walk the path with patience and perseverance. I'll see you in the next video. Namaste.